Hello there, and welcome to Sleep Science 360. I'm so glad you made it here tonight. Maybe it's been a long day, or maybe you just like falling asleep to quiet thoughts that stretch across the universe. Either way, this moment is yours now. Nothing to chase, nothing to fix. Just breathe and feel the slow rhythm of time itself around you. You can rest now. Tonight we're not counting minutes. We're drifting through the flow of time, the invisible current that carries stars, memories, and dreams alike. Every tick of a clock, every pulse in your wrist is part of that cosmic river that began before the first dawn. Light that left its star before you were born is touching your skin tonight, and in that soft arrival of ancient light time, whispers that everything you are is still becoming. As you lie here, your body keeps perfect rhythm with the universe, each heartbeat marking another small orbit in the vast machinery of existence. The Earth spins at nearly 1600 kilometers per hour beneath you. The planet orbits the Sun at 30 kilometers each second, and the Sun itself sails through our galaxy at 220 kilometers per second, a slow spiral through eternity. Yet you feel still, because motion and stillness are only different ways of touching time. So tonight, we'll let time unfold like a quiet river. We'll explore its shape, its rhythm, and its deep secrets from the first moment the universe began to measure itself to the way each breath you take carries the memory of stars long gone. And as you breathe softly, the universe exhales through you. You can rest now. Time will flow for both of us. Time begins, not with an explosion, but with a vibration. In the still air of an atomic chamber, a single atom of cesium hums 9 billion times a second. Each vibration is a heartbeat of the universe, defining what we call 1 second, a measure so small, and yet the foundation of every clock, every orbit, every thought. The second is not something nature carved. It is something we learn to listen to. When you inhale softly, your chest rises in roughly 5 seconds. When you dream, your eyes flick beneath closed lids every 90 minutes. The Earth turns once every 8, 6, 4, 0, 0 seconds. The universe, in its slow elegance, keeps the rhythm. You can rest now. Somewhere deep in the cosmic background, photons left from the birth of the universe still move at the speed of light. For them, there is no second. They never age, never pause. To a beam of light, the journey from one star to another is an instant, a frozen now stretching across trillions of kilometers. And yet for us, that same light travels for 13 billion years. We see it tonight, touching our eyes with ancient glow. In that difference, between now and then, the shape of a second takes form. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Every second is a story of motion. Your heart beats once every 8/10 of a second. Inside it, chemical messengers open and close, channels of sodium and calcium. Tiny ions move through cells in microseconds. A single thought sparks in 1/10 of a second. Even memory, that soft glow of the mind, takes roughly 3 seconds to anchor in the brain. The moment you think now is already gone. It's okay to drift. If you could watch time from above, it would not look like a line. It would shimmer, bending around mass, stretching where space expands, curling near the edges of black holes. Time is woven into space itself, a four-dimensional fabric Einstein called space-time. When the Earth orbits the Sun, it doesn't simply move through space. It carves a spiral through time. Each year is a loop in the cosmic helix, each loop slightly farther from the center, each breath another turn of the spiral. Motion and stillness are only different ways of touching time. At the top of a mountain, time moves just a little faster than it does at sea level. Gravity tugs at every second, stretching or compressing it. The difference is tiny, only about 30 microseconds per day for someone living high above the ocean. But even this minute shift matters. Your GPS satellite orbits 2,000 kilometers above Earth, where time ticks faster by 45 microseconds each day. Engineers must correct for that drift. Otherwise, your maps would wander off by 10 kilometers every day. So, the shape of a second changes with altitude, speed, and mass. Everywhere the universe breathes at a different tempo. Still, to you, time feels smooth because you are woven into its fabric. You float with the current and don't feel the flow. It's okay to drift. Sometimes a second feels long, like waiting for news or the pause before a fall. Sometimes it vanishes in a laugh. The brain does not measure time with a clock, but with change. How many new images, sounds, and sensations it records. A second rich with detail feels longer than one spent in silence. That's why childhood seems endless, and adulthood, fleeting. The rate of novelty slows down. Your neurons fire in bursts of milliseconds, but your consciousness smooths them into a river. You see continuity, though you live in frames. 20 per second, that's enough for the mind to believe in motion. Cinema and life share the same illusion that flow is real. You can rest now. A second after the Big Bang, the universe was a roaring ocean of light. Protons and neutrons collided, forming the first hydrogen and helium. Space expanded at nearly 300 million meters per second. In those earliest instants, time was young, its texture dense and hot. If you could stand in that moment, you would see matter and energy as one seamless breath. Billions of years later, we still measure our seconds by the same laws born. Then, the symmetry of motion, the regularity of change. Every clock is an echo of the first expansion. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. A second can also stretch to infinity. Einstein once said that for someone falling into a black hole, time outside would race forward infinitely. The traveler would see the future of the universe in a blink. Yet to the outside observer, that traveler would never quite cross the horizon forever. Frozen at the edge of light. Two views, two truths, both real. Time has no universal face. It bends to perspective. You can drift deeper. Inside your own body, time slows in similar ways. When you feel fear, your brain records more information per second. Later, you remember it as longer. When you relax, recording slows. Minutes melt away. Meditation, for example, reduces the sense of passing time by as much as 50%. Your perception is elastic. Your seconds are made of attention, not atoms. So, as you lie here, in the soft dark, time slows to meet you. Each breath stretches like a wave across a shore. Each heartbeat is a tiny sunrise. It's okay to drift. If you could listen closely, you'd hear clocks of every kind whispering together. Atomic clocks in green-lit laboratories. Pulsars beating every 1.4 seconds in the dark of space. The rotation of Earth slowing by 2 milliseconds each century. Even the expansion of the universe is a kind of clock, 13.8 billion years, ticking toward forever. And still, you exist in one small pocket of now, the moment. Your mind calls home. You can rest now. Time is not something you move through. It is something that moves through you. Every cell carries a clock DNA, replicating in minutes, proteins folding in microseconds. Each has its own tempo, a quiet metronome in the symphony of being. To live is to keep time with everything else. Even the stars are keepers of rhythm. They pulse and flare, with periods measured in hours or centuries. Our sun's heartbeat, its 11-year cycle of sunspots, marks decades like seasons of light. And far beyond, white dwarfs cool for billions of years, their heat ticking away like a fading clock. The universe never stops keeping time, even when no one is watching. It's okay to drift. When scientists built the first atomic clock in 1949, it was accurate to 1 second in 300 years. Today's optical lattice clocks lose a second only every 30 billion years, twice the age of the universe. Their ticks are so steady that if the Earth's gravity changed by a centimeter, they could feel it. That is how precisely we can listen to time's flow. Yet for all our precision, no instrument can measure the present. The second you name is already past. Time is a shadow that moves only when you look away. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Think of time as a river of light. It does not rush, it glides. Every second is a wave, folding into the next. At the surface, you see motion. Beneath there is stillness. Both are true. In 1 second, light travels 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 kilometers. Enough to circle the Earth 7 times. In that same second, a hummingbird flaps its wings 80 times. A mayfly lives 500,000 seconds in total. A neutron star spins 1,000 times. Time flows differently for each, but it is the same river. You can rest now, and when you sleep tonight, your brain will slow to 1/5 its waking speed. Dreams will compress hours into seconds. Your internal clock will wander free of sunlight. Every 90 minutes, you will enter another cycle, falling, rising, drifting. Your body will become the universe, in miniature, expanding and contracting with its own gentle gravity. And as you breathe, time will breathe with you. It's okay to drift deeper. Tomorrow, when you wake, the world will have aged by 8, 6, 4, 0, 0 seconds. The Earth will be slightly farther along its path around the Sunday. Your atoms will have vibrated billions of times. Yet the you who wakes will still be woven from the same thread of time that holds the stars. Because a second is not a prison. It is a doorway, always opening, never closing. You step through it with every breath, and each breath is new. You are safe here. The universe holds you. Somewhere, a photon begins its journey from a distant galaxy. In 13 billion years, it will arrive at a world that may no longer exist. And yet, in that single motion, it will have known no waiting, no end. For the photon, the path was a single breath. Perhaps that is the secret of time. It is only long when you resist its flow. When you let it move through you, it becomes weightless, and you with it. You can rest now. The shape of a second is not a number. It is a feeling, a soft pulse between light and silence. Hold it for a moment. Then let it go. Somewhere light continues to travel, and as you breathe softly, the universe exhales through you. Light remembers. It has no eyes, no thought, no past. Yet, it carries the entire history of the universe upon its waves. The first photons were born 380,000 years after the Big Bang. Before that, the cosmos was opaque, a sea of charged particles, scattering light like mist scatters dawn. Then, as the universe cooled, protons and electrons united into atoms. The fog cleared. Light was free. Those ancient photons still travel today, their wavelengths stretched by expansion into the microwave hum that fills all directions. You can rest now. When scientists tune their instruments to that faint radiation, they hear a whisper from the edge of time, the cosmic microwave background. It is a memory, older than galaxies, older than stars, older than dust. It speaks in temperatures only a few degrees above absolute zero in frequencies. So low, they feel more like breathing than sound. 2.725 Kelvin, the soft warmth of eternity. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Every photon is a messenger from the past. When you look at the moon, you see it as it was 1.3 seconds ago. When you gaze at the sun, you are seeing 8 minutes in the past. When your eyes meet a star in Orion, you are seeing light that began its journey 1300 years ago. When empires were young, when languages you speak had not yet been born. Somewhere beyond that, a faint smudge of light from the Andromeda galaxy has been traveling for 2.5 million years. When it finally touches your retina, the cells in your eyes release tiny packets of energy, transforming that ancient signal into an electrical rhythm, a pattern your mind calls now. It's okay to drift. In the scale of light, there is no waiting. For a photon, time does not pass. It leaves its source and arrives instantly, its entire journey, compressed into one eternal point. In the language of relativity, its own clock never ticks. To travel at light speed is to live in an unbroken present. That is why the stars shimmer, not because they move, but because their light meets the trembling air of Earth. Even the smallest motion of our atmosphere bends and scatters the path of those ancient messengers. The past is constantly rewritten by the air we breathe. You can rest now. If you could gather all the photons that have ever touched your skin, they would form a silent biography of your existence, a memory of every sunrise, every reflection in a window, every candle flicker at midnight. Each wave still travels outward, a faint echo carrying your image into the dark. In a sense, you have never truly left any moment you've lived. Your light continues on. It's okay to drift. The Milky Way itself glows in invisible light, infrared, ultraviolet, X-ray. Each frequency reveals a different tempo of time. Infrared shows warmth, the slow pulse of dust and dying stars. Ultraviolet shows youth, the wild birth of suns. X-rays reveal violent endings, matter, spiraling into black holes at nearly the speed of light. Each tells a story about energy and lost, creation and return. To see the universe, we must look at its memories. Every telescope is an act of listening. Each mirror is a cup catching fallen light. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light moves through time, but it also creates it. Our measurement of seconds, hours, and years depends on how light behaves. The speed of light, 29979 2 kilometers per second is the ultimate constant. No matter how you move or where you go, that number stays the same. It is the thread that stitches all clocks together. Einstein once said that time and space adjust themselves so that light never needs to change speed. In other words, the universe bends to protect the memory of light. You can rest now. Imagine watching a supernova. The moment of its explosion, a star's final breath, sends out light that travels across galaxies. For thousands of years, that light crosses empty space, a pulse of history. By the time it reaches us, the star itself has long been dust. Its planets frozen, its music ended, and yet its image blooms tonight in our sky, a delayed blossom of the past. We see ghosts of light, more real than memory. Somewhere, light still travels and carries the record of every ending, as though it never stopped shining. It's okay to drift. If you could ride upon a single photon, you would never age, never arrive. From your point of view, the whole universe would flatten into a single glowing sheet. Past, present, and future would fold together. All stars would shine in the same instant. There would be no before or after, only is. In that timeless flash lies a clue to the nature of reality. Perhaps time is not something that flows, but something that is already whole, and we move through it like a beam of light through glass. You can rest now. Even the light of your own body tells stories. Every living cell emits faint photons, a glow too soft for the eyes, but measurable in darkness. These biophotons are the whispers of molecular reactions, tiny sparks as DNA repairs itself. As enzymes shape life, one vibration at a time. Your skin glows faintly, your heartbeat flickers with rhythm. You are a constellation made of light that remembers itself. It's okay to drift. In the vast scale of cosmic time, light acts as the universe's journal. We read it backward. Galaxies and their youth stars being born, nebulae weaving matter into form. The farther we look, the younger the light. A telescope is a time machine, and the night sky is the archive of forever. Look up, and you are surrounded by billions of timelines, each crossing and fading into the next. From our world to the edge of visibility, there are galaxies 46 billion light-years away. Yet, for their light to reach us, the universe must expand, even as it glows. It's as if time stretches itself, so memory can be seen. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. When astronauts orbit Earth, they see 16 sunrises a day, each one painted by the bending of light through the atmosphere, each one slightly different in hue. From up there, you can watch the world turn through layers of color, violet fading to amber, amber to blue. It is time made visible. The edge of Earth is a clock that never stops ticking. You can rest now. Light also binds time through gravity. Near a black hole, its path curves so sharply that it can orbit forever, trapped in endless loops. This is called the photon sphere, a ring of eternal light, frozen between falling and escaping. Each photon moves at full speed, yet never gets anywhere. It is motion without progress, a shimmering metaphor for the patience of the cosmos. It's okay to drift. Even darkness holds the memory of light. When stars die, their remnants cool to invisibility, but their energy remains dissolved into the fabric of space. The faint hiss between radio stations, the soft glow your eyes sense when closed is not emptiness. It is the residue of light still humming quietly across eternity. You are surrounded by ancient photons brushing against your skin at all times, each one carrying the echo of an event that once burned bright. Time and light, forever intertwined. You can rest now. Every time you close your eyes, light continues to travel. It flows through the atmosphere, reflects off oceans, passes between atoms of glass. A single photon can pass through 1,000,000,000,000 kilometers of nothing and still arrive perfectly intact. It never forgets where it has been. Perhaps that is what time is, a memory that refuses to fade, a river that carries not just motion, but meaning. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light links every moment, from the birth of stars to the flicker of your heartbeat under the night's thin air. Each pulse is a conversation across billions of years. Each glimmer is a promise that nothing truly ends. Even after the last star dies, the last atoms will still radiate faint heat, spreading slower and slower until time itself sighs into stillness. And yet, in that stillness, light will still remember. You can rest now. The past glows gently through you. The present is made of its warmth, and somewhere in a future we cannot yet see, your light will travel onward, a photon in someone else's sky. Time bends, not because it wants to, but because everything that has mass pulls upon it. Space and time are not separate threads, but woven together into one quiet fabric. And wherever there is weight, that fabric curves. The greater the mass, the slower the clock. Every mountain, every star, every galaxy creates a gentle pocket where seconds stretch like honey. It's not something you can see or hear, but every tick of every clock bears the fingerprint of gravity. You can rest now. Einstein once described it simply: mass tells space how to curve, and space tells mass how to move. That curve is what we call gravity. And time, obedient and patient, flows more slowly in the depths of those curves. At sea level, your seconds are a little longer than they are atop a mountain. It is the Earth's quiet pull, tugging on the rhythm of your life. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station experience time differently. They orbit Earth at 2,800 kilometers per hour. Their speed slows their clocks by fractions of a second each day, but the weaker gravity above them lets time move faster. These two effects nearly cancel each other, a cosmic balance that keeps them almost perfectly in step with us. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Near something truly massive, a neutron star or a black hole, the difference becomes breathtaking. Imagine a clock at the edge of such a star. To an observer far away, its hands would seem to slow the seconds, stretching, pausing, then nearly stopping altogether. To the clock itself, nothing feels unusual. It keeps ticking in its own local rhythm, unaware that to the rest of the universe, it has entered eternity. It's okay to drift. Every heartbeat you've ever felt has been measured through this curved fabric. When you lift your gaze to the stars, you are looking upward through the gradient of time. Each layer of atmosphere bends both light and seconds, like ripples in a pond when a pebble drops. You don't notice the distortion because you are inside it, part of the current part of the bend. You can rest now. At the heart of our galaxy lies a silent anchor, Sagittarius. A times a black hole, 4 million times the mass of the Sunday around it, Stars dance in slow arcs, their years stretched and reshaped by gravity. One star, called S2, completes its orbit every 16 Earth years. When it swings, its speed climbs to 7,600 kilometers per second, 2.5% the speed of light. In that brief passage, time slows for it measurably. Its future runs behind ours by microseconds, but multiplied across eons, those microseconds become a cosmic sigh. You can drift deeper. A black hole is not a place, it is a boundary of time itself. The closer you approach, the slower everything becomes. A falling clock, as seen from far away, appears to freeze at the edge, its light stretched redder and redder until it fades into darkness. This is gravitational redshift, time's color change, the universe whispering goodbye. Inside that horizon, no one knows what time does. Equations suggest that it collapses inward, folding upon itself the future and past entwined. Maybe time stops, maybe it loops, maybe it begins again. You can rest now. Sometimes gravity and time feel like metaphors for memory. The heavier the emotion, the slower the moment moves. Grief expands a second into eternity. Joy compresses an hour into a breath. The brain too bends time around, feeling a private form of relativity. That is why falling in love feels both instant and endless. Why the final goodbye seems to last forever, even though no clock agrees. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The moon also tugs at time. Its pull raises tides not just in water, but in rock and even in the air. As Earth spins, the moon's gravity resists, slowing our planet's rotation by 2 milliseconds each century. Days are literally growing longer. Hundreds of millions of years ago, a day lasted only 21 hours. 1 billion years from now, it may last 28. The dance between Earth and Moon is gravity's slow lullaby, turning seconds into something tender. It's okay to drift. Every orbit, every fall, every motion is the curvature of time made visible. When you drop a stone, it doesn't fall through space. It moves along the natural path that curved space-time provides. We call that path gravity. But it's really just time taking the shortest route. In a way, every falling thing is following its own future. You can rest now. In the deep core of neutron stars, time is twisted almost beyond recognition. A teaspoon of their matter weighs 1 billion tons. At their surface, gravity is 200 billion times stronger than Earth's. A clock placed there would run 70% slower than ours. 1 second to us would be nearly 2 for that star. It is not only matter that is dense there, but the meaning of a moment itself. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Gravity shapes not just how time moves, but how the universe remembers. It pulls galaxies into clusters, clusters into filaments, filaments into the great web of creation. Along each thread, light takes longer paths. Every curve adds delay, a little hesitation in the story of everything. When we map the universe, we are not just seeing distance, we are seeing time made uneven. It's okay to drift. If you could hover near a black hole's edge and look outward, the universe would appear to speed up. Stars would seem to race and vanish. Centuries could pass in a few heartbeats. To you, moments stretch; to them, you are frozen. Perspective becomes destiny. Everywhere time trades shape for shape. This is the quiet truth. The universe has no single clock. There is no absolute now, only relative rhythm woven through gravity's embrace. You can rest now. When astronauts landed on the moon in 1969, their clocks ticked a fraction faster than those on Earth, about 0.02 seconds per day. A small difference, but proof that even a change of gravity changes time itself. When they returned home, they brought back dust rock and those invisible seconds, a souvenir of how gently the universe flexes. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even our sun bends time. Its mass curves space-time, so that light passing near it is delayed by 0.0002 seconds. That tiny delay was first measured in 1919 when starlight bent during a solar eclipse. It confirmed Einstein's theory and showed that time, not just space, is elastic under gravity's hand. The cosmos, it turned out, is less a machine and more a melody played in slow bending notes. It's okay to drift. Perhaps that is why the universe feels alive. Because time does not march, it sways, it responds, it leans toward what it loves. A planet's orbit, a falling apple, a sigh, all are curves of attention. Gravity is empathy written into physics. Every atom listens to every other. Every moment pulls upon the next. You can rest now. Far in the future, when stars have burned their last fuel, gravity will continue its patient work. Black holes will merge, slowly radiating away their energy through Hawking radiation. One by one, they will fade, releasing their captured time back into the dark. The universe will flatten a wide, silent sea of evenly stretched seconds. No more bending, no more falling, only calm, only rest. You are safe here. Some say gravity is not a force at all, but a whisper between moments, a way the universe remembers where everything belongs. It draws light toward warmth, matter toward meaning, and you toward stillness. The weight you feel is not a burden. It's the comfort of belonging to time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. So when you close your eyes tonight, know that gravity still holds you not just to the earth, but to every star you've ever seen. Each one bends a little of your time, adding its soft curve to your dream. You sleep in their embrace, cradled by the same law that shapes galaxies. In your stillness, time finds its balance again. You can rest now. The moment has weight, and you are drifting within its gentle pull. Time moves forward because disorder grows. That is the quiet rule behind everything that changes. Heat spreads, energy diffuses, patterns loosen. It is not destruction, but the natural drift toward balance. Physicists call it entropy, the measure of how evenly energy is shared across the universe. You can rest now. In the beginning, the universe was astonishingly ordered. All energy packed into a tiny glowing seed. As it expanded, differences appeared: hot and cold, dense and thin, bright and dark. Those contrasts made everything possible. Stars were born from imbalance. Life arose from unevenness. Without it, there would be only stillness, and time itself would have no reason to move. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Entropy is not chaos. It is the spreading of possibility. A cup of coffee cools because its warmth migrates outward until the air, the table, the room share the same quiet temperature. When balance is reached, the flow of time in that tiny corner ends. No gradient left to follow, no reason for seconds to pass. You can rest now. Each moment of your life increases entropy slightly. Every heartbeat radiates warmth. Every breath leaves behind a trace of order transformed. Even thought consumes tiny sparks of chemical energy, sending their heat into the air. In that gentle loss, you are participating in the universe's long exhale. It's okay to drift. If you could see entropy, it would look like the tide. A vast ocean slowly climbing the shore, not erasing what it touches, but blending it light into dark, warm into cool past, into memory. The arrow of time is simply the direction that tide flows. Forward, always forward, into more mixing, more evenness, more rest. You can rest now. Consider a glass shattering. A second before the molecules were arranged, precisely, each bond sharing structure and tension. A second after the pieces lie, scattered their energy, distributed across motion and sound. To reverse that, to unbreak it, would require the universe to coordinate trillions of collisions perfectly backward. It could happen in theory, but the odds are unimaginably small. So time mercifully chooses simplicity. It moves forward. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Entropy is the reason memory works one way. We remember the past because it was ordered before it mixed. We forget the future because it has not yet been arranged. When eggs crack, when smoke disperses, when stars burn, we witness time converting structure into story. It's okay to drift. In the heart of a dying star, entropy rises with majesty. Hydrogen fuses into helium, helium into carbon, each reaction spreading energy into light. When the fuel ends, gravity wins for a moment, and the star collapses. Then, like a sigh, it releases its outer layers, a nebula, a bloom of color dust that will one day become new worlds. Even decay becomes creation. You can rest now. On Earth, life plays a delicate game against entropy. Cells fight to keep their molecules in order, burning sunlight and food to build, to repair, to think. Every act of living pushes back the tide, but never stops it. Eventually, energy balances again. Even in rest, you are part of that rhythm. Entropy is not your enemy, it is your lullaby. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. A human lifetime is roughly 3 billion heartbeats. Each beat warms the air a little more. Each sigh blends molecules into the vast chemistry of atmosphere. In the far future, those atoms will wander drifting through clouds, oceans, and stars. Nothing lost, only rearranged. Entropy ensures that all separations are temporary. It's okay to drift. In physics, the maximum entropy state of the universe is called thermal equilibrium. Everywhere, the same temperature, no gradients, no flow. When that day comes, if it comes, the arrow of time will fade. No more cause and effect, no more before and after. Just quiet, evenly, spread energy. The ocean, at last, without waves. You can rest now, but even now, entropy's slow rise paints beauty. Galaxies spiral because of imbalance. Clouds form because vapor cools unevenly. Music exists because air vibrates at different pressures. A candle flickers because its heat dances toward the night. Without that asymmetry, there would be no movement, no melody, no life. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere, a glacier melts. Somewhere else, a new crystal forms. Entropy does not choose sides. It keeps the conversation going. Each loss feeds another beginning. Each cooling gives rise to motion elsewhere. The universe recycles imbalance into grace. It's okay to drift. Even black holes, those vaults of time, obey entropy's law. Stephen Hawking showed that they are not perfectly black. They radiate faint heat, a whisper of energy leaking from the edge. Over trillions of years, they will dissolve their gravity, softening their time, releasing back into the dark. Even the densest silence must one day spread. You can rest now. Entropy is the memory of everything that has ever happened. It records not in symbols, but in warmth, in randomness, in the blur between states. When you touch a sun-warmed stone, you feel ancient light that has finally slowed enough to rest. It has traveled from star to planet, to air, to skin. It remembers without intention. It remembers simply by existing. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In every breath, you echo the cosmic trend. Oxygen becomes carbon dioxide. Energy becomes heat, and balance expands outward. Each exhale is a small alignment with the universe's direction. Each inhale, a brief reversal, a gathering before release. Life is not separate from entropy. It is the pattern entropy creates before dissolving. It's okay to drift. Imagine floating above the universe, watching it cool through eons. Stars wink out. Galaxies fade into infrared glow. Particles slow until even motion loses meaning. In that far age, entropy reaches its quiet maximum. But perhaps, in that silence, something new will stir. A quantum fluctuation, a spark, a beginning again. You can rest now, because even endings are forms of balance. The arrow of time is not cruel. It simply ensures that experience can happen. Without direction, there would be no story, no unfolding, no sense of now becoming then. Entropy writes the script of reality. Every scattered atom, every faded sound is a word in the poem of change. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. So as you drift tonight, feel yourself dissolve gently into the wider order. Your warmth joins the room. Your quiet joins the night. Your seconds merge with the rhythm of the earth. Nothing is lost. Everything rearranges. The ocean of entropy carries you towards stillness, and in that stillness, you are infinite. It's okay to drift. You are safe here. The universe holds you. The universe keeps time in silence. There is no drummer, no conductor, no beginning, and no end. Only the pulse of motion repeating itself in endless forms. Atoms vibrate, planets turn, galaxies swirl. Every scale of reality carries its own rhythm. When woven together, they become the music of existence. You can rest now. In the smallest spaces, time dances like a shimmer. Within each atom, electrons move in patterns of vibration, fast, slow, harmonic, uncertain. They do not orbit like tiny moons. They hum like chords resonating in probability. Their frequencies are the metronome of matter. When cesium atoms oscillate exactly 91926317770 times 1 second is born, that single number is the heartbeat of every digital clock, every satellite, every life, synchronized to modern time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. But the rhythm does not stop there. Molecules vibrate in trillions of cycles each second. Cells divide in minutes. Hearts beat in seconds. sleep cycles in 90-minute waves. Seasons turn in yearly spirals. Even civilizations rise and fade in longer pulses, centuries. Inhaling and exhaling, progress, memory, and silence. From atom to culture, the rhythm holds. It is time's fingerprint. It's okay to drift. In the quiet dark between stars, other clocks keep time with more gravity. Pulsars, the remnants of collapsed suns, spin hundreds of times per second. Each rotation sends a beam of radio light sweeping through space, a perfect lighthouse of rhythm. Some are so precise, they rival our best atomic clocks, losing only a few microseconds in millions of years. Astronomers listen to them as if listening to the ticking of the cosmos itself. Every pulse says, "I am still here." You can rest now, and even larger cycles unfold. Our planet spins once every 86400 seconds a day. The moon orbits Earth every 27.3 days. The Earth circles the sun every 365.25. The solar system drifts once around the Milky Way every 230 million years, a galactic heartbeat that has pulsed 40 times since the birth of the Sunday. In each loop, new stars ignite, old ones fade. The rhythm slows, but never stops. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Some rhythms are so slow that we only feel them through intuition. Continents drift like notes held across eons. Mountains rise and erode. Ice ages come and go. The magnetic field of Earth reverses every 500,000 years, its north and south poles, trading places like dancers, exchanging partners. The solar wind grows and ebbs in an 11-year cycle, painting auroras that shimmer above our poles. Each pulse is gentle, steady, ancient. It's okay to drift. The universe itself seems to breathe. Galaxies expand away from one another in a slow rhythm called the Hubble flow, about 70 kilometers per second for every megaparsec of distance. A galaxy, 1,000,000 parsecs away, moves 70 kilometers farther each second. That expansion defines the tempo of cosmic time, a steady widening, a cosmic inhalation. Some cosmologists believe the universe may one day exhale, slowing, reversing, collapsing back toward unity, an eternal heartbeat, breathing in creation, breathing out rest. You can rest now. Music itself is a small reflection of this rhythm. When you listen to a slow melody, your heart rate synchronizes with it. When two instruments play slightly out of phase, you hear a wave pattern, beats within beats. This is how galaxies interact too. Their gravities interfere, creating waves of matter and light. Harmony and dissonance are not inventions. They are echoes of the structure of space. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere in a distant galaxy, two black holes orbit each other, spiraling closer over millions of years. Each revolution sends out ripples in space-time, gravitational waves. Waves that stretch and squeeze the fabric of the cosmos. When they pass through Earth, we can detect them as the smallest tremor imaginable, less than a fraction of a proton's width. These waves are time's own sound, a bass note beneath everything. It's okay to drift. Even atoms share this cosmic rhythm. Inside them, quantum fields oscillate with infinite precision. When one field hums a little faster, we call it a different particle. Electrons, quarks, neutrinos, they are all vibrations of one deeper melody. The universe is not built of things, but of rhythms, standing waves of possibility. You can rest now. Everywhere you look, cycles fold into cycles. The ocean tides follow the moon. Coral reefs glow and feed to the rhythm of lunar light. Trees release oxygen as the sun climbs and sleep when darkness falls. Your own cells align with this rhythm, the circadian pulse. Hormones rise before dawn, temperature dips before sleep. Your body is an echo of planetary time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even thoughts have rhythm. Neurons fire in oscillations, delta waves in sleep, theta in dreams, alpha in calm. Your brain hums between 7 and 40 cycles per second, creating patterns of focus, memory, and peace. When you close your eyes and slow your breathing, those waves lengthen. Consciousness drifts toward the tempo of the universe. You and the cosmos begin to move as one. It's okay to drift. If you could hear all these rhythms together, they would form a choir beyond imagination. Low frequencies from spinning galaxies, mid-tones from pulsars, high whispers from atoms, vibrating in light, all aligned in an invisible score. Some scientists call this the cosmic symphony, a soundless harmony written in waves, not air. You are part of that composition. Your breath, your pulse, your thoughts, each a note in the grand music of time. You can rest now. The rhythm of the universe is not constant, it accelerates. Distant galaxies drift faster and faster as dark energy stretches space itself. This acceleration is like a crescendo, so slow we can barely perceive it. Over billions of years, its tempo will rise until galaxies vanish beyond reach. Even in that loneliness, the rhythm continues soft, inevitable, beautiful. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Rhythm is another word for balance. Each crest follows a trough, each inhale an exhale. Entropy still grows, but within that expansion, cycles form temporary havens of pattern. You are one of them. Every night you fall asleep, your body returns to the deeper beat. Your heart syncs with gravity. Your breath mirrors the spin of the earth. You become time folded inward. It's okay to drift. Scientists once discovered that a cluster of stars in the Omega Centauri system beats in brightness like a living organism. Its pulse repeats every 18.3 hours. The reason lies in pressure waves echoing through its stellar core. The universe sings through structure itself, matter and motion translating into sound. This is not metaphor. It is physics. Reality hums. You can rest now. And somewhere beyond hearing the background of the cosmos hums too, a low vibration left from the first moments after creation. We cannot truly hear it, but radio telescopes can. It is the oldest song in existence, a frozen chord, 13.8 billion years old. Its wavelength now stretches across entire galaxies, yet it still resonates faintly. The universe has never stopped singing. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. When you sleep, you rejoin that quiet orchestra. Your breath becomes the slow percussion. Your heartbeat the bass. Dreams ripple through your mind like strings touched by starlight. In those moments, you keep time for the universe, one small listener within an infinite rhythm. It's okay to drift. You are part of the harmony. You are safe here. And as you drift deeper, imagine the final rhythm, the one that stretches across all of time. Galaxies, expanding stars, forming and dying atoms, vibrating into stillness. From that perspective, every sound, every breath, every movement is one long chord played softly through eternity. You can rest now. The rhythm continues without effort. The universe keeps its time, and you keep it with your breathing. Every heartbeat, a reminder that you are still inside the music. Inside you, time is alive. It ticks not in gears or atoms, but in the quiet rhythm of your cells. Each one keeps its own schedule, a microscopic metronome of chemistry and light. Together they form a vast orchestra of living seconds. You can rest now. Every morning near the hour of dawn, your brain releases a faint pulse of cortisol, signaling the world to wake. Every evening as darkness deepens, melatonin blooms in your blood, softening thought, slowing breath. This is the circadian rhythm, a 24-hour wave written in molecules and memory. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. That rhythm has been evolving for billions of years. Even the simplest algae follow it. Before there were eyes, there was still the awareness of light and shadow. Day and night taught every organism how to listen to time. Your heartbeat, your hunger, your sleep, they are echoes of ancient tides. Each body is an island that still remembers the sea. It's okay to drift. The cells in your liver know when to rest. The neurons in your brain know when to dream. Even your skin listens its temperature drops slightly each night, so your body can drift into deeper sleep. You are a constellation of clocks, all synchronized by sunlight. When dawn arrives, your internal pendulum resets. When dusk returns, it slows again, preparing for silence. You can rest now. Deep in the center of your brain, just above the place where dreams begin, there lies a cluster of 2, 0, 0, 0, 0 neurons, called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It is your master clock. It listens to light through your eyes, sends signals through the body, and keeps everything in gentle coordination. It hums with a rhythm of roughly one cycle every 24 hours, the same tempo as Earth's rotation. You are literally tuned to the planet's spin. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Time within the body is fluid. When you travel across the world, your inner rhythm lags behind, still loyal to the sky you left. It takes days for your chemistry to learn a new sunrise. When you fall in love, your brain floods with dopamine, and seconds seem to vanish. When you grieve, each minute stretches wide, a slow tide that will not turn. It's okay to drift. Psychologists once tried to measure how humans feel time without clocks. They placed volunteers in caves, cut off from sunlight and schedules. Days became meaningless. People slept and woke in longer cycles, sometimes 25 hours, sometimes 30. When they emerged, they were astonished to learn that weeks had passed. Without the sun, our inner time expands, seeking its own quiet rhythm. You can rest now. Even memory has its clock. Short-term impressions last about 20 seconds, long enough for a thought to form. After that, the brain decides keep or release. When you learn something new, neurons strengthen their connections in seconds, then replay them in sleep to carve long-term memories. Dreaming, in many ways, is the mind practicing time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The older we grow, the faster time seems to move. Children count each day like a mountain. Adults lose them like rain. Part of this is ratio for a 5-year-old. A year is 1/5 of life. For a 50-year-old, only 1/50th. But there's more. The brain compresses familiar experiences and expands the new. Novelty stretches perception. Repetition makes it glide. To feel time slow, one must see the world again, as if for the first time. It's okay to drift. In moments of awe, watching snow fall under lamplight, hearing a child laugh standing at the edge of the sea, the brain quiets its internal metronome. Activity in the prefrontal cortex slows and time dilates. A few seconds can feel infinite. Scientists call it temporal expansion. Poets call it eternity. You can rest now. Within your cells, tiny engines called mitochondria keep time on a shorter scale. They generate bursts of energy in repeating cycles every few minutes. Even the expression of your genes follows a rhythm. Some turn on in daylight, others at night. The code of life itself hums in phrases of time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Your pulse is more than a measure. It is a song of adaptation. When you stand, it rises. When you rest, it slows. When you listen to calm voices, it synchronizes to the pace of speech around 60 to 80 beats per minute. That is why slow narration, like this one, feels safe. Your heart finds its echo in the words. It's okay to drift. The brain, too, adjusts its rhythm to others. When two people sit together quietly, their breathing synchronizes. Their heartbeats find the same tempo. Even their neurons may fire in gentle resonance. Time shared becomes time softened. This is why silence between friends feels peaceful. Their inner clocks beat as one. You can rest now. Every sense keeps its own tempo. Sight refreshes in microseconds. Sound lingers for 1/10 of a second longer. Touch unfolds slowly, taking up to a full second to reach awareness. When you hold someone's hand, that second becomes timeless. Time stretches because connection slows perception. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even language carries time within it. Every word you hear lasts about half a second. Every breath between sentences resets attention. When speech becomes slow and soft, the listener's brainwaves fall into rhythm. This is why calm voices lull the mind to rest. They do not fight time. They invite it to settle. It's okay to drift. The human heart beats roughly 3 billion times in a lifetime. Each beat sends a pulse through 60,000 miles of vessels, carrying time in the form of oxygen and warmth. In every organ, that rhythm creates stability. When it falters, we feel it instantly. A skipped beat, a pause. Even fear is just an acceleration of time within the body. You can rest now. At the scale of decades, the body tells time through change. Collagen in the skin loosens. Telomeres on DNA shorten by fractions with each cell division. Hair whitens when pigment cells sleep. These are not losses, but transformations of rhythm, a slower tempo, a deepening note. The body ages the way a song fades, not by ending, but by quieting. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Yet, within every slowing, there is renewal. New neurons form even in adulthood. Dreams remain vivid. The heart learns new patterns. The rhythm adapts, rearranging itself. like an improvisation. The human clock is never static. It is jazz written in biology. It's okay to drift. And when you finally close your eyes each night, your inner clocks do not stop. They begin their other work repair, sorting memory. Temperature drops. Heart rate slows. Brain waves lengthen into deep delta waves, one cycle every 2 seconds. In that slowness, the self dissolves into rest. You can rest now. You are safe here. Inside you, billions of cells whisper their schedules, some rising, some sleeping, some quietly dividing under the moonlight. It is a ballet performed in near silence, choreographed by time itself. You are not merely passing through time. You are its living shape. Each breath, each heartbeat, each thought is time, remembering itself through you. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. And as you drift deeper into stillness, know that every moment of your life has been perfectly timed, from the first cry of birth to this quiet inhale in the dark. No second has been wasted. They all fit the rhythm of the universe in ways too intricate to see. It's okay to drift. Your body knows what to do. Your clock keeps perfect time. And the universe, patient and infinite, keeps time with you. You can rest now. All rhythms have softened. All seconds have found their place. There is a moment each night when the world lets go of its edges. The clocks keep ticking, but your mind begins to dissolve between their beats. This is the dream between seconds, the place where time forgets its order and becomes something softer. You can rest now. Your body floats at the border of waking. Breath lengthens. Heart slows. The senses loosen their grip. This gentle descent takes about 7 minutes, a slow slide into sleep's first rhythm. In that passage, time no longer feels measured. It ripples, instead folding inward like light bending through warm air. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. As consciousness fades, your brain begins to sing. Neurons pulse in waves of theta, 4 to 7 cycles each second. Images flicker, half thoughts, half memories. A face, a landscape, a sound without source. The boundaries of time blur. Seconds stretch into rooms, minutes collapse into sparks. You are not leaving time. You are entering its dream. It's okay to drift. Inside the dream, time loses gravity. Events no longer follow. They bloom. You might see someone you loved years ago, and they are still the same. Their voice untouched by distance. You might walk through seasons that shift with each breath, summer to winter, night to dawn, without effort, without thought. In the dream, cause and effect rest. You can rest now. Scientists have tried to measure time in dreams. They asked dreamers trained in lucid awareness to count seconds while they slept, to move their eyes back and forth 10 times, marking the passage of time inside the dream. When they woke, their counts matched waking time almost exactly. The dream had its own clock, steady but silent, as if the mind carried its own private cosmos. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Dreams unfold in cycles. Each night, your mind journeys through about 5 or 6 of them. Each cycle lasts around 90 minutes, a slow tide between deep sleep and rapid eye motion. Early cycles are heavy, like stones sinking in water. Later ones grow lighter, like clouds drifting through dawn. Every dream rides that wave, falling, rising, falling again. It's okay to drift. When you dream, your brain's perception of time changes entirely. The prefrontal cortex, the part that measures sequence, goes quiet. Scenes flow freely, looping, skipping, blending. A minute in the real world can become an hour in the dream, or a lifetime. You can live whole stories between two heartbeats. You can rest now. Sometimes dreams stretch so far that they outgrow meaning. You find yourself standing beneath unfamiliar stars. Voices echo from nowhere. Gravity hums like a forgotten song. The self begins to fade. You are not someone dreaming. You are the dream itself, breathing in rhythm with a distant sky. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Memory and imagination share the same stage. In dreams, the brain's sensory areas light up as vividly as if they were seeing, touching, hearing. But no eyes are open, no hands move. You are creating time from within moments, born from electricity and silence. In that world, the arrow of time bends back toward emotion. It does not ask what happened next, only how did it feel? It's okay to drift. Every image has texture. The warmth of sunlight that never was. The sound of someone calling your name from a place you cannot reach. The feeling of falling, followed by flight. These are not random. They are rehearsals of the mind. The brain, replaying what it cannot resolve, rearranging the order of time so peace can return. You can rest now. In dreams, the past often visits uninvited. Faces appear. Moments replay with new endings. It is not deception, but repair. Dreams stitch loose threads between memory and desire. They soften the sharpness of time. They teach the body to forgive its own story. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There is a stage called REM, when the eyes flicker under closed lids and the pulse quickens slightly. Your muscles are paralyzed, so you will not act out the dream. It is the paradox of safety. Your mind is vivid, your body still. Inside, whole worlds unfold, each one lasting only seconds, yet feeling infinite. It's okay to drift. Somewhere between those seconds, the brain performs its quiet magic. It replays the day in fragments, sorting what to keep, what to forget. Memories consolidate, emotions settle, neural pathways reshape themselves. When you wake, you will feel lighter. Not because time has passed, but because your mind has organized the flow. You can rest now. Sometimes you may dream of falling, a quick drop, a surge of weightlessness. This is your body aligning itself as muscles relax and your inner ear resets. The jolt that wakes you is simply the return to gravity's rhythm. The body and the dream syncing again, time catching up with itself. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Dream time is non-linear. It folds like silk. You can walk into a room and find your childhood there, then open a door and see a future not yet written. It is not illusion. It is how the brain learns from possibility. Each dream is a rehearsal, a quiet experiment in the physics of emotion. It's okay to drift. Even when you do not remember your dreams, they have already done their work. The brain has cleaned, sorted, restored. The body has reset its rhythms. Your inner clock has whispered back into sync. You wake with the gentle order that dreaming provides. Time itself is renewed through forgetfulness. You can rest now. Sometimes a dream feels like a message. A familiar face smiles from nowhere. A voice says something that feels ancient. It is not prophecy. It is the echo of memory folded through imagination. Dreams speak in the language of metaphor because meaning is faster than time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In deep sleep, brainwaves slow to less than 2 cycles per second. Consciousness fades entirely. This is the pause between breaths, a state of pure stillness where the body rebuilds and the mind floats in silence. Some call it oblivion, but perhaps it is the most peaceful part of existence. The universe resting through you. It's okay to drift. And then, without reason, you rise again. The next REM begins. Dreams return time, reawakens inside you. Night continues its secret pulse, 5 rhythms, repeating like the tides of the soul. When morning comes, you will have traveled across years, planets, memories, and emotions, all within the span of sleep. You can rest now, because here in the dream between seconds, you have already crossed infinity and come home again. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There comes a night for every universe, a night without dawn, not a violent ending, but a quiet unfolding into stillness. The stars, once bright with purpose, begin to drift apart like dandelion seeds in windless air. This is not loss, it is the rhythm of return. You can rest now. For more than 13 billion years, space has stretched like the surface of a calm ocean pulled outward. At first, the expansion slowed under gravity's hand. Then, something invisible began to push a pressure we call dark energy, a silent wind that no one feels, yet everything obeys. Every second, each galaxy moves a little farther away. Every million years, the distance doubles. It is as if the universe is breathing out and the breath never ends. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Galaxies thin like threads of smoke. Clusters break apart, their bridges of gravity too weak to hold. Within those drifting islands, the stars age. The massive blue giants flare and fade, first burning their hydrogen in a single magnificent sigh. Then come the suns, like ours, steady for billions of years, until their hearts run dry. Finally, the smallest red dwarfs, patient, long-lived, flicker into ember and vanish. The universe dims to a dusk that never brightens. It's okay to drift. Even as the light weakens, time continues to stretch. Each second grows longer than the last, drawn thin by the widening of space. Photons travel farther between encounters, their wavelengths pulled to red, to infrared, to radio, to nothing the eye can name. Eventually, the cosmos becomes transparent to itself. Light passes through without meeting anything at all. You can rest now. In this far future, temperatures fall toward absolute zero, 2.7 Kelvin, then 1, then a millionth of a degree above stillness. Atoms move only in whispers. Collisions become rare memories. Heat itself fades into the background hum. The sky is not black but featureless, a gentle gray of infinite distance. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Yet even in that silence, time continues its patient arithmetic. Protons, the bricks of matter, may one day decay, each one taking perhaps 10 to the 34 years to vanish. A number too vast for language, too slow for imagination. When they do, everything solid becomes a mist of energy, a fading shimmer that disperses forever. The universe becomes a quiet sea of photons and ghosts of motion. It's okay to drift. The black holes remain the last keepers of time. They hold gravity's memory, spinning silently, gathering the remnants of stars that wander too near. But even they are not eternal. Through Hawking radiation, they leak heat, one faint particle at a time. Small black holes vanish first. The giants take longer than all history combined. Yet, eventually, they too will sigh away, leaving behind only warmth thinner than thought. You can rest now. At that moment, the universe reaches perfect balance. No gradients, no contrast, no reason for motion. Entropy completes its long ascent. This is the heat death, not fire, but equilibrium. Everywhere the same. A peace so absolute that the arrow of time can no longer point forward. With nothing left to change, seconds lose their shape. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. But silence is not the same as emptiness. In quantum darkness, fields still flutter. Tiny fluctuations rise and fall, brief sparks of existence born from the uncertainty of nothing. Most vanish instantly, but one in a trillion may linger long enough to swell. A new bubble of space, a new beginning. Perhaps this is how every universe starts, from the hush at the end of another song. It's okay to drift. So the waning of time is not death, but sleep. The grand exhalation of creation before its next breath. Every atom, every photon, every memory you hold is part of that slow release. And as the cosmos rests, so do you, another rhythm returning to stillness. You can rest now. You are safe here. The universe holds you. Imagine the end, not as a wall, but as a room with no corners. No clocks on the shelves, no windows for light to cross. Only a soft and endless interior where everything has become the same. You can rest now. Here, motion is no longer needed. With no differences left to bridge, time has no errands to run. The universe has learned the quiet shape of itself, a presence without edges, a breath held so gently that it feels like forever. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The last gradients have faded. Heat no longer moves from warm to cool. Fields hum at amplitudes so small, they are closer to silence than to sound. A second becomes indistinguishable from a century because nothing asks to change. It's okay to drift. If this feels like absence, look again. What seems empty is simply complete. All the stories that once required motion now exist together, layered like faint starlight in a single pane of glass. You can rest now. In such stillness, awareness is not measured. It is simply present. There is no before, no after. Only a wide and lucid now that does not need to begin or end. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Physicists give names to quiet like this: De Sitter horizons. Vacuum temperatures so low they brush the bottom of meaning. Numbers thin to whispers, units collapse into feeling. Where nothing pulls on anything, time has nothing to count. It's okay to drift. The black holes have already sighed away their last quanta, fading into the soft dark. Space is transparent to itself. A photon could travel forever and never meet a hand to catch it. Without encounter, its path becomes less a journey and more a resting line. You can rest now. What remains is resonance, not the music of notes, but the hum left over when music finds its final chord. a low and even tone that occupies every place at once like dusk that never yields to night. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If consciousness could witness this, it would not be bored. It would be endless attention, a listening so complete that nothing needs to speak. It would feel like standing in a cathedral built of quiet where the air itself is the prayer. It's okay to drift. Even silence carries pattern. Quantum fields quiver at the edge of zero, small as a rumor in a sleeping town. Most ripples fade before they become anything like thoughts forgotten between breaths. But the possibility remains a seed folded into the ground of being waiting without hurry. You can rest now. Perhaps stillness is how universes remember, not with words but with equilibrium. All the light that ever traveled, all the gravity that ever bent, all the warmth that ever spread, held now in a single evenness that includes every story at once. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Think of a lake at dawn, so calm it reflects the sky without a ripple. Motion exists as potential, not as need. A bird could cross it, a wind could touch it, but in the pause, before either happens, the lake is complete. This is that pause, widened to the size of everything. It's okay to drift. For a long time, a time without length stillness will be all there is. Not because the universe lacks energy, but because it has shared it so perfectly that no path remains to traverse. Balance has finished its work and set its tools down softly. You can rest now. And yet, in the underside of quiet chance does not sleep. A tiny fluctuation could gather itself. A stray shiver could curve space. A hollow could become a valley, and a valley a cascade. From the even floor of forever, a slope could appear, and with it time would remember how to fall. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If that pulse arrives, it will not thunder. It will begin as a pressure too small to name a warmth that does not yet feel like heat, a brightness that is not yet light. Beginning always hides first in patience. It's okay to drift. And if no pulse arrives, peace does not fail. The universe remains whole, a completed sentence that never needs a period because it lingers in the breath after meaning. Nothing missing, nothing extra, only sufficiency spread to the rim of being. You can rest now. This vision does not contradict your life. It fulfills it. Every heartbeat you have ever known was practice for this cadence. Every exhale rehearsal for this release. When you let your shoulders drop, you mirror a cosmic act. When you close your eyes, you agree with infinity. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In the stillness beyond motion, the oldest promises are kept. No light is lost. No love is wasted. No moment is discarded. They are all present here, not as flickering scenes, but as belonging woven into the calm like threads of dusk. It's okay to drift. And so at the hush of creation's breath, you are not a visitor. You are the room. You are the quiet in which time once blossomed and to which it now returns. You are the harbor where the last waves sleep. You can rest now. Somewhere, even here, light still travels, not as urgency, but as poise. It moves because being is generous. It pauses because being is complete. Between those two truths, the future may unfold. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If the next universe is born, it will rise from this exact calm, drawing a first boundary, setting a first difference, letting heat and cold step forward to dance. Seconds will gather like birds on a wire. Space will widen like an opening hand, and a new voice will whisper the first word. It's okay to drift, but for now, let the word remain unspoken. Let the hand remain open. Let the wire be sky without birds, lake without wind, breath without count. Stay in the stillness beyond motion long enough to feel your outline blur. You can rest now, because here, in the soft interior of forever, you are already what the universe becomes when it stops needing to move. You are presence without edge, attention without strain light, without distance. The story is quiet. The page is warm. And time has finally learned how to be still. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. From the stillness, a tremor. Not a sound, not a spark, but a difference barely larger than nothing. In the even sea of forever, one ripple leans a little more to one side than the other. That tilt becomes a slope. The slope invites motion, and motion remembers its name. You can rest now. In the language of physics, a fluctuation can curve space. A curved space can nurture energy. Energy can separate into fields that sing at different notes. From symmetry, a gentle breaking. From breaking, a map. In that map, one place is warmer than another by a whisper 10 to the power of -5 of a degree, a difference the size of breath upon a mirror. And yet a universe learns to grow from such small permission. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Time returns first as preference. Here rather than there. Now rather than always. A gradient appears like light, discovering shadow. Heat remembers how to move from more to less, and in that motion, the arrow of time finds its point again. It's okay to drift. Imagine a bubble rising through a quiet lake. Its skin is made of space. Its interior is the possibility of moments. As it swells, distances increase. 1 second has width again. 1 meter has meaning. A newborn cosmos expands at a breathtaking rate, not in kilometers per hour, but by doubling and doubling again, a rapid smoothing that turns wrinkles into sky. You can rest now. Clocks assemble themselves from the grammar of fields. Particles acquire mass riding the sway of a universal field that saturates everything. A billionth of a second, then a millionth, then a whole second gathered like a pearl. When the first atoms form, time has enough patience to let stars happen. Hydrogen counts out hundreds of millions of years before it condenses into the first suns. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Not all rebirth is explosive. Some theories whisper of cycles, a cosmos that contracts, smooths its irregularities, and bounces. In that bounce, the rules remain, but the actors change. Another story wears the same physics like a familiar coat. Elsewhere, a model speaks of worlds colliding in higher dimensions, their meeting kindling a flood of light we call a beginning. Each vision is careful, humble, before data, and content to say, perhaps the dawn returns by many doors. It's okay to drift. What matters for your breathing now is simpler than every equation, the feeling of time as a tide coming back in. A hush lifts, a shoreline brightens by a single lumen. Moments once blended into a single presence, separate like dewdrops along a blade of grass, cause steps beside effect again, not as tyrant, but as choreography. You can rest now. Information the universe seems to insist does not like to be lost. Even when fire consumes a page, the ash, the smoke, the warmth, all hold a grammar of what has been. In deep theories of gravity horizons, act like ledgers' subtle surfaces that store the accounting of events. When the ledger dissolves, there are hints that the writing remains spread across the world like fine dust of meaning. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. This recovery of order is never perfect. It does not need to be. It only needs to suffice to let memory grow again, to let life happen, to let someone someday stand under a sky and feel it say their name. The return of the moment is not a miracle. It is the patient reappearance of difference, warm and cool, light and shade, before and after. It's okay to drift. So the newborn arrow points. Entropy begins low and has room to rise. The ocean of future forms, ready to receive rivers of change. The first nucleosynthesis, the first photons, freed, the first galaxies seeded by tiny ripples, amplified over hundreds of millions of years. And between each stage time, deepens its bed, cutting a channel the cosmos will follow for eons. You can rest now. If you listen closely in this return, you can hear a rhythm you already know, the cadence of your sleep cycles, the swing of your breath, the hush before an exhale becomes sound. Rebirth is nothing foreign. It is the shape of every night becoming morning. And if a universe can remember how to be moment by moment, so can you. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Time's first light does not shout. It arrives like the color of water when the sun is still below the horizon. Edges reappear. Contours confess themselves to vision, and meaning, timid at first, walks back into the room. You can rest now. With the arrow restored, stories learn how to unfold. Hydrogen waits 200 million years before the earliest stars ignite their cores hot enough to turn silence into helium and light. Those stars explode, sowing carbon and oxygen, iron and calcium letters a universe can use to write bodies and breath. In their aftermath, new stars form faster, their disks assembling planets in tens of millions of years. Small stones practicing gravity until they become worlds. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. On one such, world oceans keep long diaries. Tides mark time in halves of days, seasons in arcs of months, ice and thaw in cycles of tens of thousands of years. Life learns to keep rhythm too, molecules copying themselves in seconds, cells dividing in hours, organisms sleeping and waking in 24. The return of the moment becomes intimate, spelled across skin and breath. It's okay to drift. What was everywhere becomes here. What was always becomes now. The present unrolls like a scroll from left to right. A narrow window, perhaps only a few seconds wide, where senses and memory overlap. Behind it, history cools. Ahead of it, prediction warms. You live at the seam, stitching both with attention. You can rest now. Even as novelty blooms, the ledger of information keeps careful score. Light that leaves a star carries its diary outward. For 100,000 years, across a galaxy. For 2 million, across the space between galaxies. When it meets an eye, that diary becomes a thought, and the universe reads itself. In each reading, the past is gently reborn as present. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There are stories in which the cosmos cycles not only once, but many times, aeons like pearls on a thread without ends. In some, each aeon hands to the next the simplest gift, a smoothness, a set of constants, a canvas stretched and ready. In others, memory is subtler patterns of information woven into the horizon, waiting to be teased free when the loom is built again. None of these need be certain to be comforting. They are lullabies sung in a language of patience. It's okay to drift. Return does not erase what came before. It includes it. The silence of forever does not cancel music. It teaches it to breathe. The waning of time does not kill moments. It rests them so that moments can rise again clean. Rebirth is continuity with mercy. You can rest now. Think of dew on a field just before sunrise. Each drop a lens. Each lens a small universe, folding the whole sky into itself. When the sun climbs by a single degree, the drops begin to vanish. Their water does not end. It becomes air, becomes cloud, becomes rain, becomes river. So it is with moments. They change rooms, but they do not leave the house. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. On cosmic scales, numbers steady the heart. Light still crosses 3,000,000 kilometers each second. The Milky Way still turns once every 230 million years. A proton's rest mass still anchors chemistry, while an electron's charge still threads atoms into matter. These anchors let a returning universe compose familiar chords. From them, galaxies, spiral planets, weather mines, wonder. It's okay to drift. And within a wondering mind, rebirth takes a humane shape. A morning when sorrow feels half a shade lighter. A conversation that mends a long tear. A walk where the air smells new, though the street is the same. Tiny arrows turning forward again after a season of stillness. You can rest now. Theories that protect information in the deepest wells of gravity offer a quiet promise. What falls is not forgotten. What changes form keeps a signature somewhere, however scrambled, however dim. If the universe guards its histories so fiercely, perhaps your life is held with the same care. No moment wasted, no love discarded, only work in progress toward clarity. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Listen, there is a softness at the edge of return. It says you do not need to hurry. Dawn never runs, it accrues. A gray brightens to pearl, pearl to milk, milk to gold. By the time you notice you are awake, light has been practicing for an hour. It's okay to drift. So, let the first birds of your inner sky test their notes. Let your breath choose a slower key. Let the moment sit beside you like a friend who woke early and did not wake you because they loved you more than talk. You can rest now. If a next universe begins, it will do so with this same courtesy, quiet preparation, low music under the door, a widening that feels like forgiveness. And if your next moment begins, let it inherit the same grace. Carry forward nothing but what steadies the heart, the rhythm of breath, the trust of stillness, the willingness to see the world again. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere beyond the trees of thought, light tilts the room toward morning. Seconds feel round again. Cause and effect walk the path home. You are not leaving the peace behind. You are bringing it with you. The return of the moment is the return of you. It's okay to drift. You are safe here. The universe holds you. You can rest now. The door to part 10 is open, and on the other side waits a single steady breath called now. You awaken within a silence so complete it feels like the inside of light. No boundaries, no ceiling of thought, only the slow recognition that you are still here, not rising, not falling, simply resting in the space between. You can rest now. The air has the texture of memory, soft, weightless, older than names. You are surrounded by nothing, yet it feels full. Every grain of quiet hums faintly, as if remembering sound. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Time does not move here. It sways. It ripples gently, like reflections on a pond, long after the stone has sunk. Each pulse of your heartbeat spreads across eternity, carrying the calm to distances beyond thought. It's okay to drift. Your mind is open but unhurried. Images float by a leaf, turning a face, smiling, a path of golden dust, and fade before you reach for them. They are not lost. They have simply become still. You can rest now. In this still present awareness is not a task. It is an atmosphere. You are breathing in consciousness itself and breathing it out again, like tides exchanging salt and sky. Every inhale returns you to being. Every exhale lets being continue without you. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The line between body and space dissolves. Weight spreads outward, becoming horizon. You are no longer in the room. The room is in you walls. Air, distant stars, all folded into one continuous interior. It's okay to drift. Physicists once called the present a moving knife edge between past and future. But lying here, you can feel how round it truly is. Not an edge, but a field. Every moment that ever was exists within this field, like notes sustained in a single chord. You can rest now. A photon leaves a star, travels for 1 billion years, and arrives on your skin tonight. Its journey has ended, yet it never hurried. In its frame of reference, no time passed at all. Light has always lived in the still present. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Each breath you take is older than your species. The same oxygen once circled inside. Trilobites once drifted through maple leaves, once shimmered in the lungs of whales. Nothing you breathe is new. Nothing you exhale is lost. All air is remembrance. It's okay to drift. Your pulse slows until it feels less like motion and more like warmth. The tiny electric currents in your heart beat at roughly 1 per second, but seconds no longer matter. They have stretched into a single slow-burning candle of presence. You can rest now. Thoughts approach the edge of sleep and bow before stillness. They dissolve into simple noticing the heaviness of your hands, the weight of the blanket, the hum behind the ribs. The brain has stopped writing stories. It has chosen peace over narrative. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Outside, somewhere far above the roof, the planet turns at 1600 kilometers per hour. The sun sails around the Milky Way at 220 kilometers per second. Yet within you, everything is perfectly motionless. Speed and stillness coexist like sound and echo, finding harmony. It's okay to drift. The still present does not deny change. It gathers it. All futures rest here before becoming. All pasts return here after ending. You are the meeting point, the breathing center, where everything folds into gentleness. You can rest now. Sometimes awareness flickers a small current, reminding you of yourself. Then it quiets again, like a wave folding into the tide. This rhythm is natural being and not being, remembering and release. The alternation itself is the heartbeat of peace. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even numbers feel slower here. 1 second becomes long enough to hold gratitude. 1 minute becomes large enough to fit a lifetime of calm. 1 hour stretches into forever without breaking. It's okay to drift. You sense warmth behind your closed eyes, not from outside light, but from awareness itself glowing. It paints soft color on the inside of your mind, silver indigo, gold, each hue a language of rest. You can rest now. Somewhere in the distance, a sound, perhaps your own breath, moves through air that feels like velvet. It fades before reaching silence, as if the room is absorbing your rhythm to keep it safe. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The word now used to feel small, a fleeting syllable between two vast eternities. But here, it expands beyond measure. It contains everything that ever happened and everything that ever will. You are standing in the center of infinity's pause. It's okay to drift. Awareness grows lighter, almost transparent. You do not disappear. You become vast. The self thins like morning mist, and what remains is tenderness without border. You can rest now. Beneath the last layer of thought lies gratitude, not for anything specific, but for the simple fact that existence breathes at all. Gratitude is the heartbeat of the present. It keeps time for galaxies and for dreams alike. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Stay here a little longer, where everything touches everything. Let the moment cradle you as gently as gravity holds the moon. Nothing needs to be done. Nothing needs to be fixed. The universe has already arrived. It's okay to drift. This is the still present, the eternal surface of being. Every motion returns to it. Every silence begins here. You are not waiting for peace. You are the peace. You can rest now. The universe holds you, and time at last has remembered how to be kind. Light returns gently, as if it had been waiting behind your eyelids all along. It does not rush or command. It simply appears, a quiet warmth rising from within the silence. You can rest now. The darkness that carried you was never an absence. It was the cradle of every beginning. All through the stillness, it kept you safe, teaching your breath how to slow, teaching your thoughts how to fade. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Time begins to move again, but differently. Not as a river, more as a pulse. It expands and contracts with your breathing, a rhythm so gentle it feels like kindness itself. It's okay to drift. You sense the room before you see it, the weight of air, the faint pulse of the earth beneath your bed, the quiet hum of a world continuing. Every molecule around you glows faintly with recognition. The universe is still here, and it remembers your shape. You can rest now. Light touches your eyelids like a memory. It carries the scent of morning rain, the color of sleep well kept. You open to it slowly, not to wake, but to belong. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If time could speak, it would sound like this: a low, endless exhale that says, I am here. I have always been here. Each second unfurls like silk falling into place. No pressure, no distance, only continuity. It's okay to drift. The atoms of your skin are ancient travelers. They have lived inside mountains, oceans, and stars. They have known pressure, fusion, and release. Tonight they rest in human form, gathered briefly to be you. And in their stillness they glow with quiet understanding. You can rest now. Every cell in your body breathes in rhythm with the planet. Each heartbeat aligns with tides. Each breath mirrors the rotation of the earth. You are not apart from the cosmos. You are its local rhythm, its small, steady song. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Outside, the first light of dawn bends around the curve of the world. Photons that began their journey 8 minutes ago from the sun are arriving at your window now, traveling 150 million kilometers to touch your skin. Their message is simple. You are part of everything that continues. It's okay to drift. When you inhale, you take in that ancient light. When you exhale, you give back warmth to the air. The exchange is seamless, constant, kind. In every direction, the balance of giving and receiving writes the same word, home. You can rest now. Awareness widens again. You remember faces, voices, the shapes of days. They move softly through your memory, not asking to be held, only to be seen. Every one of them was a fragment of the same whole. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The future is here, not as a road, but as presence unfolding. You don't need to chase it. It will arrive in each heartbeat, in each breath, in each slow kindness that greets you. It's okay to drift. The weight of the blanket, the hum of the world, the distant pulse of your own blood, these are constellations now, patterns of stillness scattered across the sky of your body. They remind you that nothing truly ends. You can rest now. Somewhere beyond walls and sky, the Milky Way turns once every 230 million years. Its stars are older than language, yet their motion continues without sound. Their light falls upon you even now, crossing distances too vast to imagine, just to arrive on your closed hands. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. You are not a separate witness to this turning. You are its expression. When you blink, the galaxies blink with you. When you breathe, time folds gently around your breath. Every heartbeat is a meeting point between the infinite and the intimate. It's okay to drift. And so, after all the expansion, after the silence, after the dream, you have arrived at the simplest truth. There is only this moment, alive, complete, enough. You can rest now. In this single breath, past and future bow to the same still grace. The flow of time continues, but you no longer fear its motion. It carries you like a river that knows exactly where it is going. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If you listen, you can hear the echo of the beginning in the rhythm of your breath. The same expansion that birthed galaxies still hums inside your lungs. Creation never stopped. It merely became human for a while. It's okay to drift. You have found the home that was never somewhere else. It is not in the stars or the future. It is here, in the space between heartbeats, in the warmth behind your ribs, in the awareness that says quietly, I am. You can rest now. Light still travels. The universe breathes through you. You are home. You can rest now.